We are going to end it with one guy who is very excited about travel in Michigan, the Vice President of Travel Michigan and the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. David Lorenz joins us on the Oakland County MegaCast. Thank you for being with us.
Well, it's great to be with you on this beautiful day in Pure, Michigan. I have to tell you, I'm actually on my front porch right now at my home office, as everybody is still doing the home office thing as much as they can. And it's a beautiful day. I hope people can get out there and enjoy it.
Can I move my home office to your home office?
Yeah, I'm pretty blessed. We years ago, about 35 years ago, we bought this little chunk of property near Lake Michigan, 4 acres for like $7,500. Times have changed. So built a little log home here, and it was our desire to always have a small home that we could afford and not have to be paying for the rest of our lives. So it ends up being a pretty nice place.
It is a beautiful place, and talk about getting out and enjoying nature right now. While the crisis has put a crinkle in travel plans, we've had amazing weather this entire summer. Do you think that's kind of helped some of the businesses connected to the tourism industry?
Absolutely, without a doubt. Isn't it strange that, we had COVID attack the late winter, early spring. We all had to stay inside, and then we had that cold, rainy spring that seemed to never end. And then as we started to learn that there were safe ways that you could travel, people started to get out there as soon as things started to open up. And I think because of all that pent-up demand, all the challenges, all the stress, that people started to say, listen, I'm going to be part of the solution by making sure I'm keeping everybody, safe by wearing a mask and keeping my hands clean and, staying home if I'm sick and all that. But people are traveling. I was up in Traverse City and Charlevoix yesterday, meeting with some of my colleagues. And I have to tell you, Northern Michigan is abuzz with activity. And I think that this really beautiful weather we've had this summer, maybe the best I can remember, has really helped to encourage travel. People are traveling from Michigan to other parts of Michigan like I haven't seen in a long time. And surprisingly, people from outside of the state, I think that, they've been hearing Pure Michigan for so many years through our campaigns that, we were already on that bucket list. And then when they started to see that we were taking the protocol seriously, and they felt like the numbers were down, they could get there safely. I think a combination of all that has provided us a lot better business than we anticipated. If we could only get people back to work, it would be even better because, even with limited capacities, we're not able to reach all the numbers that we could because businesses just simply can't open to the degree that they would want to. It's been hard getting people back to work.
Yeah, so while people are traveling more, how much of a hit overall is this year going to be for their bottom line?
Still going to be rough. In fact, many businesses haven't been able to make it to this point. They weren't able to last. People don't understand. Many businesses in travel and tourism that, is so important to our lives, restaurants and attractions that, we like to go to, like museums and things. They're on a real close margin. They don't make great percentages of money. They make enough to get by, to employ their people, to pay their taxes, to, make their expenses, and let's hope make a little money. That's how most of the industry is, and a lot of mom and pop businesses. So we lost too many of them early on in this crisis. Now that we're back open again, and people are traveling, it's doing a lot better. And I have to tell you, in Michigan, we're doing better than most other states in the country, by far, actually. Northern Michigan, in July, we had hotel capacity or occupancy around 65 to 70%. A lot of people are using sharing economy, Airbnb type thing. So we don't get data on that. But I can tell you, I'm hearing that they are absolutely sold out everywhere in Michigan. And even in Detroit, that was, one of the epicenters of this whole crisis. Now that things are doing so much better, people are feeling comfortable about going there for leisure. Even without the Tigers, 10 losses in a row. Ugh. Even without being able to go to the Tigers, they're still even going to Detroit. And Detroit's about 52% occupancy in July. The rest of the country is around 47%. In cities like Chicago and San Francisco, single digit occupancies. So We are doing much better than most places in the country. We should be thankful for that, and give each other a pat on the back, because that's all because of most of us taking these protocols seriously and trying to think of other people before ourselves, wearing our masks and things like that. It makes people feel comfortable to travel, knowing that we're taking that pledge, what we're calling the Pure Michigan Pledge. It's working.
So, Dave, I have to ask you, how is it working with the hotels? Because, like you said, especially up north, I'm trying to book something for September, and a lot of them are booked already. But do they have certain capacity restraints like the restaurants and the businesses?
Yeah, they do. And in northern Michigan, the restraints aren't as significant as they are in like southeast Michigan, but they still, to keep everybody safe, they're limiting their occupancies just by themselves, self-limiting. So I'm recommending that people make their bookings in advance. I've been saying since this whole thing started, I anticipated it would be busy. I didn't think it'd be this busy. But I've been saying fall is going to be the new summer. People are going to be able to travel with their kids this fall more than ever, because a lot of us are going to be doing virtual classes. So that's going to allow families to travel into the fall. They're going to be able to do their classroom virtual classes during the day. And then they're going to use that travel experience as kind of part of the educational experience too. In fact, we're gathering up educational curriculum for the travel experience, and we're going to share them on michigan.org. So if you're one of those families, you're going to travel into the fall with your kids and bring your laptops and such, and you still want to enjoy yourselves as well, you're going to be able to do that. We're going to help you along the way. Get those bookings done now, though. The resorts are a really good option because they're big and they provide a lot of distancing opportunities. This is a great time of the year to go to them because they're not very busy. It's not like ski time or whatever. Golf season is always big, but you can still do that. Otherwise, check out some of the small towns around the state that maybe you haven't been to for a while that really offer great experiences. Maybe not as well known as a Traverse or a Mackinac Island, but still really cool experiences. So we're trying to help you out by giving you those ideas at michigan.org. So get those bookings in now. I'm telling you, through October, we're going to be busy.
Dave Lorenz with us. He is the Vice President of Travel Michigan with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. And with all these people are traveling and are going throughout Michigan, people are coming in to the state to experience Pure Michigan. Earlier on in the program, we had Kathleen Sexton on the show from the Clinton River Watershed Council, who had said that they're seeing more people engaging in nature now than they ever have before, as people are trying to get away from the virtual realm that they've been stuck in since March because of the pandemic. Has that clamoring to go back out and engage with all the great and various nature we have in Michigan been a factor in the boom of travel over the course of the summer and into the fall?
Yeah, it sure has. And, that's what I meant by, mentioning Pure Michigan early on. As you all know, we don't have budget this year. We're not advertising. We probably wouldn't be even if we did have budget because of the situation. But those years and years of people around the country seeing the Pure Michigan ads and seeing all those beautiful natural areas, those beautiful scenes. We've always led with our nature approach, even though we've been doing more kind of city urban marketing as well, because a lot of young people really want that experience too. But because they've been seeing all those beautiful natural areas, which we have plenty for all these years, they want to come and experience them now. And because they know there's a lot of room, and you can go to a beautiful Michigan beach and even in high water levels and still see what you want to see without having people shoulder to shoulder with you. You can go to one of our trails. You can do all the many things that people want to do. And we have millions of acres of forest, 11,000 inland lakes, touch on 4 of the 5 Great Lakes and all those beaches. We have the Upper Peninsula, this nature wonder. I was on my personal vacation in the Upper Peninsula last week, and we had a great time. Whole family got together for a little birthday gathering. It was spectacular. And you think about the variety of things you can do even in nature in Michigan. Yes, we're great with trails. Yes, we're great with beaches. But there are so many other things. If you want to do stand-up paddling, or if you want to do kayaking, if you like mountain biking, if you want to do horseback riding or use the ATVs or ORVs, if you want to go on beaches, a place like Silver Lake Dunes, we really do have it all. We kind of, with tongue in cheek, always say, we have everything but salt water and sharks. And the fact is, that's true. We have so much to offer. So when you feel comfortable in traveling, you should know you can do that safely. We're encouraging people to take what we call the Pure Michigan Pledge. It's a statement, really, and it's basically saying you're going to do these 7 things to keep each other safe as possible. The number one thing on that is to be thoughtful and to be intentional about that. Wear your face mask when you're indoors, or when you're even out of doors in really busy places, like in Mackinac Island, when you're getting off the boat, things like that. It's been a great season. People are loving being outside and being able to travel. And I'm just really crossing my fingers that we're going to keep this up until that vaccine comes. We're going to be responsible to be able to enjoy Michigan.
So, Dave, you mentioned about Pure Michigan's budget. Do you think after going through this pandemic, maybe the lawmakers will understand the importance of your campaign and understand why you need it, and some of those funds could return?
Well, originally we were left without budget because of some disagreements really not related to us between the administration and the legislature. I think almost all legislators, and certainly the governor, value Pure Michigan. They know the importance of the travel and tourism industries. They know the impact that Pure Michigan has on encouraging people to travel, and that it's changed the perception of Michigan for people all around the world, especially here in the United States. There was a time before Pure Michigan where people thought Michigan's best times had passed it by. And I know Pure Michigan has changed people's minds about that, because we have a great future. What we have right now is pretty darn good, even in a difficult situation, but we have even a brighter future. And Pure Michigan has helped to tell that story. We're going to be able to keep on doing that, because I'm sure that even right now, while we're cash strapped as a state like everybody else is, there's a real understanding that when we promote travel and tourism through the Pure Michigan campaign, that we bring a lot more money back in because of that Pure Michigan work. So I anticipate that we're going to have a better appreciation as well, not only for Pure Michigan, but for the travel and tourism opportunities out there. So I think a combination of all that is going to provide the desire to provide us with as much budget as they can allocate. And I can guarantee you, we will do all we can to do as much as we can with that budget to get people back to work. Because that's really what it's all about. It's about jobs, and it's about tax revenue. Pure Michigan brings a lot more money back in than what it takes to run the program. And those people who come here, they spend a lot of money, and that generates tax revenue, so we can pay for roads and schools and police, and we can even pay for this COVID response. So I think it'll happen.
So in a normal year outside of COVID, what is the tourism industry worth to the state? Is it billions?
No, it's billions, yeah. And I've forgotten the exact number. I just can't keep those numbers. I think it's $26 to $28 billion in spending, something like that. So it's hundreds of millions of dollars in tax revenue. And, at the peak, we were at $36 million in our budget last year. We had hoped to be close to that this year. It didn't happen because of all these things. And then, interestingly enough, the legislature and the governor's office worked on a deal to get us budget for the remainder of the year. And they were just about to allocate that when COVID really hit. And even I had to begrudgingly say, you know what? Best to use those dollars for COVID response, which was, difficult for me to say. But, you got to remember, at the beginning of this whole crisis, Mr. Pure Michigan, the guy pushing travel all the time, I was saying, stay home. So for a long time, we did that. Now we're just saying, when you feel comfortable, get out there and travel, but do it safely. Be part of the solution by taking the Pure Michigan Pledge. So I invite you to go to michigan.org/Pure Michigan Pledge to learn more about that. And consider yourself a pledge taker. Make that promise that you're going to keep each other safe. Even if you don't, feel like you need to be worried about yourself, think about other people who are trying to travel as well, or just trying to live in their communities. Let's think about them. And I know we will.
David Lorenz with us, the Vice President of Travel Michigan at the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. Dave, just a couple more minutes with you. We're approaching Labor Day weekend as people are making their plans, getting ready to travel around the state of Michigan, find that place to go for that long weekend. What are a couple of hidden gems in the state of Michigan that you suggest as people are finalizing those plans?
I'm glad you said it that way, because everybody knows the really popular places. But I tell you, I've been to some really cool places lately. I was in Coldwater the other day. When's the last time you were in Coldwater? What a neat little town. Or Hillsdale. I took a drive from Shanty Creek Resort through the back roads of Michigan just yesterday. And I just love those little towns, where you have the Amish communities and people on, with, the horse and carts and things. You can find those little towns, those little rural towns scattered around Michigan. And I really think that people should check out those areas. So it depends on what you're into. So if you take what we call the Sauk Trail, that 12 corridor that basically goes from Detroit to Chicago, it was an old Native American trail, and then a wagon trail for a while, for all those years. That's got all these cute little towns that were like built in the 1800s, brick front buildings and fun towns with great restaurants and fun people and nice people. I like that, but it depends on what you're into. So consider what you really enjoy. If you're traveling with family, think about your group. And then even if you're traveling with a group, give yourself some options so part of the group can go one place, part of them to the other. I was at the Air Zoo the other day near Kalamazoo in Portage. Spectacular. The Gilmore Car Museum is in that area, so if you're into cars. Of course, the Henry Ford, everybody knows that. But there are these kind of neat little things and places that you can visit. Check them out. You're going to love it.
Must be amazing to travel with you. Dave Lorenz, Vice President of Travel Michigan, Michigan Economic Development Corporation. We always so much enjoy having you on the show and sharing all your knowledge and tidbits about the state of Michigan and your enthusiasm as well. So thank you for being on the Oakland County MegaCast.
Thank you. I always enjoy being with you guys, too. You do a great job. What a great service for the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. And I will say, Tyler, I'm going up north again next month. I want to see a bear and I want to see a moose. Those are on my list. I never get to see them. Sorry, what'd you say there, Dave?
Oswald's Bear Ranch. I was there on my vacation last week. It's near Newberry. It's not a farm and it's not a zoo. These are animals who can be dangerous, but they're behind a fence in huge areas. But it's a cool thing. You're guaranteed to see a beautiful black bear.
See? Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate that. Tyler, have you ever seen a bear?
Not in person. I'm very glad I haven't, though. That's something I'm very happy about.
Well, I don't want it chasing me, but I want to see it in its nature. I got to go to Kenya one time on a safari. It was awesome. So I suggest that you go up there, Tyler.
I'm going to go with his suggestion of the Air Zoo. And when I was in college, I did a very short mini documentary in a project group at the Air Zoo. It's fantastic. It's so interesting. Very, very fascinating.
Dave's showing us pictures. Oh, he's teasing me. He's teasing me. Well, thank you so much, Dave.